It's Lauren LaRosa, and let's get to the latest. Now, getting on into the latest, we have Beyoncé. Queen Bee herself, mother Beyoncé, all the things, okay? Want to send a huge congratulations to Beyoncé because Beyoncé has won her first primetime Emmy for Beyoncé Bowl. So she is on her way to EGOT status. EGOT status, for those of you who do not know, is when you have an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony Award. Beyoncé won the Emmy as a costume designer for her Netflix special Beyoncé Bowl in the category of outstanding costumes for variety, nonfiction, or reality program. She won alongside other costume designers like Shiona Turini. Mind you, let me tell y'all about Shiona Turini. I interned at Cosmopolitan magazine while Shiona Turini was there. She was lead market editor at the time. Shiona has always been fire, but she's come on with Beyoncé as a costume designer. I like to say sometimes that like she kind of does creative direction as well, because all of the pieces that she brings into a lot of the various things that you see Beyoncé in when she's performing and she's doing certain things are Shiona Turini, but they tell a story. So I love, when I wouldn't even call her a stylist, costume designers, wardrobe people act as creative directors. And the reason why I say act as creative directors is because the clothing tells stories. And I think when you are a creative director, I know when you're a creative director, that is your job, essentially. You want to be able to tell stories and convey it in a way that the audience picks up on it. It's creatively done. It's sharp. It's concise. It's exactly what the client or the talent needs. And Shiona is fire. So I wanted to give her that moment. But so Beyoncé is nominated next to Shiona Turini. Her assistant costume designer, Erica Rice, or costume designers, Erica Rice and Molly Peters, costume supervisor, Chelsea Stabell, and head of workroom, Timothy White. Now, the awards will be presented at the 77th Creative Arts Emmy Awards, which will take place at the Peacock Theater in LA. It'll be a 2-night event. It starts September 6th and ends on September 7th. Now, they do have an edited version of the award ceremony that will air on September 13th at 8 p.m. on FXX. So Beyoncé is a part of the juried category for this Emmy Award. So that basically means that she's not up against other people in this category and they pick and they vote. There's a panel of people. The panel of people, they sit, they evaluate, and then they just say, yes, this person has it. And then it's given to that person after the vote and after the conversations. The professionals on the panel are people that are your peers. So these are people in this selected industry. So probably other people who worked in the costume design department, the non-fictional storytelling department, things that are very relevant to who the person is and what the art is that they are discussing or deciding upon. The jury category is a one-step process. As I mentioned, there are no nominees, but there is a voting procedure. So they vote, on whether or not you deserve the award. Beyoncé took it home. Deliberations include an open discussion of each entrant's work with a thorough review of the merits awarding the Emmy. So Beyoncé is also nominated in 2 other categories in this Emmy pool. So she is nominated for Outstanding Variety Special Live as a performer and executive producer, and Outstanding Directing for a Variety Special. So Beyoncé has won 35 Grammys, more than anybody in history, as we know. She received an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song in 2022 for co-writing Be Alive for King Richard with Dyson. That puts her halfway to EGOT status. Now let's talk a little bit about Beyoncé Bowl. So you guys remember Beyoncé Bowl? I hope you remember Beyoncé Bowl. It streamed on Netflix. It was a Christmas special that Beyoncé did where she performed. She was in her hometown and she performed Cowboy Carter's album live for an audience for the first time. So she did a medley of a bunch of different songs from the album. It was special because, not only was it in her hometown, not only was it Christmas, Netflix had never really seen anything like this. Now let's talk a little bit about what Beyoncé was able to accomplish. She pulled in 27 million viewers with Beyoncé Bowl. And y'all remember, they tried to shut our girl out of the Country Music Awards. I want to just say, in comparison to the 27 million views that Beyoncé received, a report on Hypebae's website says that in 2024, the CMAs only pulled in 6.8 million viewers. Okay, clock it. That's what it's called when they be saying, God prepared a table right in front of your enemies. A spread, okay? God prepared a spread for Beyonce right in front of her enemies, because not only did she break records with Beyoncé Bowl, performing that country music album that the CMAs did not even want to. A lot of people in the country music world didn't want to even admit was a country music album. They said Beyonce needed to learn the ropes a bit, throw herself into the country music world a bit. But Beyonce has talked a lot about growing up in Houston, Texas, and how music and country music influenced her, even though the music she was making, a lot of people wouldn't have deemed country music. Even with Cowboy Carter, a lot of the songs on that album, people still argued weren't country songs because of various things. God prepared the table for you in front of thy enemy, okay? Beyonce is the mascot of that. Now, Beyoncé Bowl was a sight to see. For the country music people to be telling Beyonce, stay in your place, this is not your world. Beyonce has used this moment in history with all of the strides that she has been able to make with Cowboy Carter to really teach people. And Beyonce does that a lot. All great artists do. Beyonce does that a ton. But during Cowboy Carter, she was able to, in homage to Western and rodeo culture, she was able to showcase a lot of people in front of 27 million people, essentially, because you could go back and stream it again and again and again on Netflix. So she brought out Mexican cowgirl, Melanie Rivera. She also brought out bull riding legend, Murtis Dightman Jr., known as the Jackie Robinson of rodeo. She brought out Miss Rodeo Texas Princess 2004. She brought out Miss Rodeo Texas 2015, Nikki Woodward. She also brought out the first black rodeo queen in Arkansas, Jediah, sorry if I'm saying anything wrong, Kirsch. Beyonce did the same thing even on the Cowboy Carter album. She, gave a lot of country music artists spotlight, even in talking about the album, even in going on tour. She gave a lot of people spotlight. And I think that's what it's all about. And I think that's why we keep seeing Beyonce be so blessed, is because it's not just about Beyonce, even though it is though. Even though this is Beyonce's internet that we be on and all that, right? It's not just about her and her career. And I think that's why we keep seeing her break these strides. And every single time there's opposition, whenever the ops pull up, Beyonce goes somewhere, she sit back, pull out the lemonade braids and be like, all right, I'm about to show you. I'm gonna let the work show y'all. You're not gonna be able to get around me. I love that attitude. I love that mantra. I love everything about that. I recently joined the Beehive. I wasn't always a Beehiver, but it's not even because I do know Beyonce's music. Everybody knows Beyonce's music. How can you not know Beyonce's music? But for me, a woman like Beyonce, and a lot of times with celebrities, I'm so enthused and just excited by just who they are as talent and as business people. Beyonce is a business woman, but the brand of Beyonce is an institution. And you learn and take so much from how she moves. I don't know if her wanting to stream on Netflix, because, everything's intentional, especially with, talent like Beyonce. I don't know if her goal is to get the EGOT and she's strategically positioning herself in the places where we see her to be able to shoot her shot for that. And knowing okay, if I stream this on Netflix and you've never seen this on Netflix and I break these records and I, could potentially be nominated for an Emmy, I'm one step closer to EGOT status. Or if Beyonce, I know she's to a point where, she's reinventing the wheel, per se, of just different ways that her business, the institution I talked about, can continue to leverage and level up platform and numbers and business and just how they maneuver and how they do everything. And watching her is just grand. There are two people that I love to watch in entertainment, Black women, Issa Rae and Beyonce. Again, same thing with Issa Rae. I feel like with Issa Rae, it's always she's so silent. She stays above the noise, above the mess, but her work always speaks for itself. Crazy development deals, series that people continue to remember. You can rewatch Insecure 50,011 times. It never gets old. But just what she's been able to do with going from a YouTube online creator to really getting in the houses of these studios and these networks, and even doing all that while being talent. Issa Rae, when people, used to ask me okay, what is it that you want to do? What is your wheelhouse? Having a talk show, doing the things that I'm doing. Yes, we're of course we're going Angie Martinez, we're going Oprah, we're going Wendy, we're going Miss Info, we're going, like, I could name so many different women and shows and just things that encouraged me or wanted me to do certain things. When it comes to me as like a producer, as a content creator, and also wanting to do other things as talent, I always point to Issa Rae, because for a long time, people were having a conversation about, are you even able, what is a multi-hyphenate? What is that? Is it even possible at a high level? And then you look at a Beyonce Beyonce is a producer. She is a director. At some point, she probably costume designs. She's building set with her team. Beyonce has her hand in everything, even if she's hiring people to do certain things and not physically, or time-wise actually doing it herself. Because I think in order to be as great as a Beyonce, or to be as, innovative and breaking through doors and boundaries as an Issa Rae, you got to know everything. Because at some points, people telling you what you can't do. People be telling me, and it's crazy when I think about it as a Black woman, because I think about how successful Beyonce is, how rich Beyonce is, how wealthy, because not even just money, but like wealth, like things she can actually pass on, things she's actually accomplished, assets, all of these things. As a Black woman, I look at her and I'm like, wow. But then she does something like Cowboy Carter, and you still have people that will tell her what she cannot do. And she just lets the work speak for herself. God will prepare a table in front of thy enemy, period. Congratulations.